afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. I'm Ronak Dute, and it's my pleasure to welcome each one of you for this inspiring panel discussion today, brought to you by Credai Nagpur Metro. Our focus for the day revolves around a fascinating topic, Nagpur, the emerging metropolitan city. Thank you for joining us for what promises to be an enlightening conversation about the growth and potential of Nagpur. Let's dwell into this discussion and explore the exciting developments shaping our city's future. On this note, I would like to introduce and felicitate our eminent panelists for today's program and introduce our moderator also. First of all, I would like to introduce Shri Anuj Puri, Chairman and founder of Anarock. Shri Anuj Puri needs no introduction. Shri Anuj Puri needs no introduction in real estate sector, having 30 years of experience in India as well as global real estate market. Under his leadership, he has expanded from being a residential focused organization to complementary sectors including retail, commercial, hospitality, logistics and many more. Shri Anuj Puri, who has received significant national and global recognition, is also associated with various national and international industry forums on multiple public and private company boards. I request Shri Vijay Dargan to felicitate Mr. Anuj Puri with a bouquet and memento. Now I would like to introduce Shri Arvind Kumar. He is Center Head for TCS Nagpur. Shri Arvind Kumar, a BTech in Computer Science Engineering from IIT BHU, is associated with TCS for last 31 years. Under his leadership, TCS team has delivered success, brought innovative business models, products and solutions. He is in the Board of Studies and Academic Senate for many engineering institute. I request Shri Eklavya Vasekar ji to introduce and felicitate Shri Arvind Kumar with bouquet and memento. Now I would like to introduce Shri Rajat Kapoor, founder CEO at Ascent Business Solutions. He is passionate about creating global scale business, all because of his vision. Ascent Business Solution is an Indian MNC in Nagpur with international headquarters in New Jersey, USA. I request Shri Sanjay Gupta ji to felicitate Mr. Rajat Kapoor with bouquet and memento. Let me take this opportunity to introduce Dr. Atul Goyal, a well-known personality in real estate sector, MD of Goyal Ganga Group. Dr. Atul Goyal is a visionary. His company was first Indian company in real estate by implementing ISO 9001 way back in 1997. He is person who has changed Pune skyline. It was his vision which transformed an unorganized retail area in Nagpur with modern retail and also brought first World Trade Center in central India. I request Shri Prashant Sarode ji to felicitate Dr. Atul Goyal. Also, I would like to introduce Shri Gaurav Agarwala, Director of SDPL and financial brain of the company. Principally looks after marketing aspects of all the projects of SDPL. He believes in diversification, and that is the reason that SDPL has ventured into residential, commercial plots, and with education sector in DPS Lava. and hospitality industry through its Tatastu resorts at 5 different locations. Can we have a round of applause for him? Also, I would like to introduce our moderator, Shri Siddharth Saraf, an electrical engineer from IIT Delhi with over 30 years of experience in different sectors like manufacturing, education, IT, and real estate. Mr. Siddharth Saraf, a strategist who is developing Central India's first integrated township in 152 acres, the Empyrean, which is government recognized special township for Maharashtra. He is founder secretary of Buttibori Manufacturing Association and active VIA and CREDA in Nagpur Metro. Can we have applause for him? On this note, I request Shri Anuj Puri to start today's session with a keynote as overall real estate scenario before we discuss on Vidarbha today. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Ronak. What a delight, what a privilege to be here. It is fantastic to be in this city. Every time you come into this city, you feel the positivity, the energy, the quality of infrastructure. I come from a horrible city called as Bombay. And, it's painful to go from one place to another place, like 4 kilometers means 40 minutes. If you go into Bangalore, that 4 kilometers, probably easier to walk than to go by road. And here you come in, what a fantastic city, the infrastructure, the metro, the roadways, now the connectivity that has happened with Shirdi. It is amazing to see that. And, we are going to discuss a lot more about that. But I think what Ronak wanted me to speak is like sort of 4-5 minutes, I'm going to say. What's happening in India? Ronak introduced me, he was saying 30 years of experience. It did give my age a little bit. But more importantly, I can tell you, I have never seen a real estate market in my 30 years like what I am seeing today. It's a big statement to say that in 30 years, I have not seen this kind of vibrancy, this kind of consolidation and the sales growth, which is non-speculator-led, non-investor-led, clearly end-user demand momentum coming in. So I'll give you 10 statistics, which I quickly wrote. First is, when India becomes a $7 trillion economy, which we're hoping by 2032, it will be a $7 trillion economy, real estate will be $1 trillion. Today it's about $300 billion. So between now and 2032, it'll grow by 3x. Second is commercial, which you would agree is a bad word in the US. Bad word in the US. And Arvind will be able to throw more light because people are just not coming back to work. If you look at the various private equity, whether it's Blackstone, Brookfield, they're handing over the keys to the banks and saying, look, there's nobody coming back here. We are not going to be able to service the debt that we've taken. In India, 2023, we had the second best year ever. On one side, you're saying America, where Blackstone and Brookfield are giving the keys of their campuses to the banks. We're saying is that second best year ever on the office leasing was 2023. So much of IT demand, and Rajat and I spoke earlier about it, is that there is so much of GCC. This is the global capability centers, coming in. First time they're coming into India. And they're setting up their own campuses. So nearly 38 million square feet was leased. 2019 was 40 million square feet. So we're nearly the best every year that has been done. 3.8 crore square feet. We'll talk in that context where Nagpur really sits in. Out of the 3.8 crore square feet, about 1 million square feet was Nagpur. So 10 lakhs was Nagpur. So definitely it has a little bit of catch up. Third is on retail. And if you were to look at retail, all the good malls, are fully occupied, 95% occupancy. In fact, those who come to Bombay, if you were to ever go to Phoenix Mall, where the St. Regis is, one occupier, there are 4455 people waiting to get in, 4455 brands. And the rental there are between 700 rupees to 1,000 rupees a square foot per month. That is the kind of rental. And yet those retailers are making money in that. Nexus, which is the Blackstone listed REIT. That is the only REIT in retail that has got listed. Got listed in May 2023. Today is 30% up. And that's a reflection of the retail. Again, it's a bad word in the US because everybody is like, it is online shopping. Here it is not. It is still pretty much physical shopping. What is the, what for me and my family, for example, if you have on a weekend to do, oh, let's go and see Fighter today. And then we will, go to the mall, have a bit of F&B, food, do a bit of impulse shopping and come back. In that is, in the US, they have parks, they have circuses, they have museums, or even Europe. And as a result of it, mall is not like a social infrastructure. It is a social infrastructure today. What is really doing amazingly well is residential. I mean, it is at its 15-year high. So 2023 was 15-year high on the residential side. Nearly 5 lakh units were sold in the top 8 cities. 5 lakh units that were sold. About 6,500 crores of inventory was sold. So 5 lakh unit is about 5 lakh crore worth of inventory was sold, new homes, out of which 6,500 crore was Nagpur that had contributed in that. But 15-year high, unsold inventory is at its lowest. So, clearly a market which is being favoring the developers. Sales of the listed player, I mean, if you look at before COVID, 2019, most of these players were between 6,000-7,000 crores per annum of sales. Now, this year, Atul, there'll be about 4 guys who would breach 20,000 crores. From 6,000-7,000 crores 2019 to, Prestige will breach 20,000 for sure. Godrej will definitely breach. DLF has already breached 20,000 crores. DLF used to be about 4,000 crores. So, it is like single day, they are doing $1 billion sale. I mean, it was in the papers as well as 8,000 crores in one day they sold. One launch that they did is, and the fourth likely is going to be Lodha in there. Whilst I'm saying 5 lakh units and it's 15-year high, I'll just give you a comparison. China every year sells 1 crore units. So we are like 5 lakh units and we are saying we are at a 15-year high. They sell 1 crore units a year. So, we have a long way to go. Lots of people think as though we are reaching the epitome and, this is now going to come down after that. I'm like, buddy, I mean, we're like 5 lakh units only. It is like 1 crore. Okay, 1 crore nahi jayega. 60 lakh, 70 lakh, 40 lakh, 50 lakh. Still there is like 10x growth that is possible in Harris. Private equity has slowed down. So private equity has slowed down, and the reason is very clear, is because the developers have got money through their internal accrual. Why do they need private equity? So they're not wanting any private equity. They're not wanting external capital to come in. Co-working doing exceptionally well. 25% of the leasing that was done, and I do feel is this is one point that Sandeep, we should discuss co-working in Nagpur, because it does allow easy entry. For corporates to come in. So out of the 3.8 crore, 1/4 of it was co-working. So this is the WeWork, Office, Smart Work, Table Space, those guys, 1/4 of it. And Atul, your city, I mean, Pune is like 50% co-working that is going in there. But it's an easy entry, If I have to set up Anarok in Nagpur and there's a large co-working nice center, I mean, I can put 15, 20, 30 guys straight away. Today I have to think, I have to take an office, I have to fit it out, I have to do the deposit, I have to manage, maintain, etc. Just becomes a lot more easier to see is, what it is, put in 40, 50 guys and just see. And if the experience is nice, then you go out and you expand in there is, which I do feel some of you who are making those offices do give it to a co-working, because usually what happens, the occupier of the co-working expands in the same building only. So actually you benefit. It becomes like an incubation center for your clients in there. Just 2 other things that I would say is that debt has reduced. The developers have really reduced their debt. Over what it was before COVID to where it is today. The only thing that has not grown as quickly, the only sector that has not grown as quickly is industrial. Industrial, it has grown by 6.4% in 2023. And the reason for that is that during COVID, it really grew grew very rapidly. So as a result of it, it is consolidation that is happening place on the industrial, warehousing, logistic sector. There are other sectors that are exciting, which is like the student housing, which is the co-living, senior living, but they are still very small at this moment in time. So you can't really do a full business scale on these sectors. With that, Siddhartha, I'm going to hand it back to you.
Hello. Thank you, Anuj. I'm glad to have such an eminent panel with me today. Anuj, Arvind, Rajat, Atul, and Gaurav. And thank you, Anuj, for your wonderful keynote address. I think we have a packed audience, and let's see if we do some justice to them. So I'll start with a very simple question. It's a non-business question. I would like to ask each of you to give your take, your impressions, perhaps some funny memory about Nagpur. I'll start with the Nagpur people first. Rajat, I think you've been your entire life in Nagpur, yeah? Yeah, great, great.
Thank you, Siddharth. Am I audible at the back? Thank you, Siddharth, and Anuj, thank you for that quick masterclass. 5 minutes about the real estate structure around the country. That was really enlightening. Of course, out of the panelist group, I'm possibly one of the 3 who've spent most of their time in Nagpur. And when we set up our company way back, Siddharth, in 2000, when I quit corporate world to set up a startup, we chose Nagpur then. Of course, there was an emotional connect and also some solid reasoning as to why we chose the city. From that time to now, Nagpur's come a very long way. If you really look at a framework for a city as to why from an IT perspective, which drives a lot of real estate in the city, Nagpur's come a very long way in terms of the human capital availability. The quality of human capital is second to none in the country. I rate it one of the largest, strongest education hubs of the country. You find ample good workforce. If you look at the social infrastructure, law and order systems, availability of housing, now with the metro structures, Nagpur's come a very long way. It's primed for growth. If I look at some of our metro town peers now, they're at a massive disadvantage. Some of that infrastructure growth is happening after the growth and the boom happened in those cities. Nagpur's blessed, we are primed to expand. From that perspective, Nagpur's in a very good position. If I look at the social structure of the city, it's very conservative still, but the youth now need a little more entertainment. That's the other side of things. We want that to get balanced a little bit. Some more growth on that side will really hold or avoid the brain drain that's been happening perpetually in that side. If we look at the large companies coming into the city, we have almost the top 5, 4 of the top 5 and large numbers in the city. That's beginning to draw a lot of talent and eyeballs to the city. And that'll continue happening. My funny memories for Nagpur go back to a time where our airport was tiny, and when you had to bring in clients, it was almost sometimes difficult to get people to fly in directly into city. That's changed. But a funny memory goes, we had a very large client coming in from the US, and they had done their visas. Qatar had started flying into the city. They booked their visas as e-visas, only to land up here to be told that e-visa facility is not available in Nagpur. And they had to travel back to Mumbai to get back into the city. Okay, so things like that have happened in growth years, but Nagpur now is getting bigger, better, stronger. I believe we should be the top 5 growth areas as we move along. That's my personal feel.
Thank you, Rajat. Arvind, I think you've been here for the last almost, 15 odd years?
8 years.
8 years?
Yes.
Okay, great, great. So please keep it short, some fun memory or some impression about Nagpur that you carry as soon as you hear about Nagpur?
Yes, sure. Thanks, Siddharth, and thanks everyone for giving the opportunity. So I came to Nagpur in November 2014, so almost 8 years now. But in these 8 years, within the TCS fraternity and as well as the professional bodies fraternities in Nagpur, I am considered to be a Nagpurian who is resettling the Nagpurians back into Nagpur. Right? So when I came here, I used to stay for 1.5 months. Then at that point of a time, it was a sun and sand. And now it is a Lee Meridian. And when I was soaking in the culture, the people, all of those that we call as Nagpur, and I got introduced to many of the attributes that we know Nagpur is, right? And it is number more than any other city of the Nagpur, orange city of the India, tiger capital of the India, the geographical center of India, the diamond crossing of India, the education hub of the central India, medical hub of the central India, the largest gold reserve of the India. So many things. And I was amazed. I was just trying to find out that which other city in the India has so many attributes. I do not know whether you would be able to recall any other city has so many attributes, right? So that amazed me, and I felt that it has, and I'm at the right place because when I was coming to Nagpur, the CEO of TCS, he was asking me to stay in Mumbai to do something. And I said, Mumbai, is it a place to settle? I love coming to Mumbai for business transactions. Then he said that, why don't you go to Nagpur? And I said, what's there in Nagpur? And he said, you don't know? We are building a large campus in 53.5 acres there. Today it is 105 acres, but at that point of a time, 53.5 acres campus. And yes, I will take it. And he said, do you have relatives in Nagpur? And I said, no. So how did you choose or said yes so quickly about Nagpur? It's like a blank canvas. I say it is like a blank canvas. I will fill the colors the way I want. Today, I can tell with a good satisfaction to the core of my heart that I chose the right city to fill the colors as whatever that possible that to this particular city. Okay? So that's the beauty of Nagpur. And if I look at the attributes I talked about, the education hub of the central India, that became the mantra for the TCS expansion here. We believe that if the university, Nagpur University, produces 150,000 undergraduates every year, and if you combine Nagpur University with Amravati University and Gondwana University together, there are 3 lakhs undergraduates pass every year. It's a humongous number. So that became the first mantra of the TCS Nagpur, that if TCS Nagpur has to expand, it has to leverage all the talent landscape that Nagpur has to extend. And we took the mantra of full services, full stakeholder play. What I mean to say is that when you talk about an IT as an industry, typically comes to mind is that programming. IT means programming. Java आना चाहिए, .NET आना चाहिए, C++ आना चाहिए. But is that the IT? It's just in a small section of a small part of the IT is that, right? And that's where we believe that we need to leverage both the spectrum. The first year, we started what was, the world was talking about digital, and digital, right? All the world of robotics to AI to IoT to web responsive technologies. I'm just putting some of the keywords, okay? But at the same time, we believe that we should also leverage what the world called it as a business process services, right? We adopted both. In the second year of our strategy, we felt that software industry or IT industry is not just only going to be about the software. A lot of hardware is going to come into. And today, we know that world as the world of IoT, right? Internet of Things. We adopted that. At that point of a time, in TCS, it was named at Engineering and Industrial Services. Today, it is called as an IoT DE, right? We adopted that, right? A lot of such kind of works that we do today. It is a full spectrum play. And that is where today the TCS Nagpur has got position. In fact, I was just giving certain insight to Anuj, right? See, I cannot compare TCS Nagpur as TCS Bangalore or TCS Chennai or TCS Mumbai or TCS Pune or TCS. They started 1968, right? 50 years before, 35 years before. But amongst all the locations, which I don't call Nagpur as a tier 2 city. I hate actually categorizing any city as a tier 1 or tier 2 or tier 3. What's there? Have you heard about this concept as a tier 1, tier 2 or tier 3 in any of the other countries in the world? No. Every city has its own USP. Every city has its own possibilities. Let's be proud of what we have in Nagpur, right? And I call Nagpur as a growth city, right? That's where the TCS as an organization has decided to grow. Let's grow. That's the only mantra for my leadership. Let's not compare it with Pune or let's not compare it with Mumbai or Hyderabad. Let's leverage what Nagpur has to offer. And that's where actually, if you look at today, TCS Nagpur, very proudly I can say, has become the largest employer as far as Nagpur region for sure and certain. And again, I do not know the central India is concerned. So I will add on later on.
Thank you, Arvindji. I have seen a lot of people who are born, brought up, or studied in Nagpur who are so passionate about Nagpur. And it's a revelation to me today. I can see the same passion in Arvindji's adopted city, Nagpur. So lovely. Thank you. Thank you. Anuj, if you can tell us something.
Yeah, no, I'll be quick. So if you were to wake me up at 2 a.m. in the morning and says, what is Nagpur? 2 a.m. in the morning, maybe with some alcohol in my body, truth will come out. So I would say is oranges, Mr. Devendra Fadnavis, Mr. Gadkari, infrastructure, I would say Haldiram, I would say great educational institutions. I would say Mihan, because many years ago I come in there, Mihan. And I would say one other thing is, great place for me, you know, when I get married and I have kids, but if I'm going to be dating a girl, I am not sure I want to be in this city. I need a city which has more pubs, more restaurants, more places to be able to go out and network. That is what at
Anuj, you've not been to a city in the last year, I think.
I need to see the nightlife.
I cannot be the girl that you want to date, but we can surely go out for a day out in Nagpur. Nagpur has fantastic places to eat, drink, and also have a happening nightlife now. And not just a commercial nightlife, it has the advantage of a lot of house parties and club culture, which is a which is a great way to bond. Plus,
agree.
you reach everywhere in 5 minutes. Atulji.
Yes. So thank you, Siddharth. I think if I have to share my, thoughts about Nagpur, I would go back to years when Mihan attracted a lot of builders and developers and investments in Nagpur. And I think any city, they have to look at they have to attract people and they have to keep it to those expectations. But unfortunately, Nagpur went through a phase where it attracted a lot of investments and a lot of builders to Nagpur, and later on, people started disbelieving and they said they really stayed back. But with today's development. I mean, I can experience my experience when we were started talking about metro way back in 2014, 15, that metro aega, people were not believing in us. And today, when we see metro happening, the first metro happening in Maharashtra and that also happening in Nagpur. I mean, if you compare with Bombay and Pune, still Bombay and Pune is struggling, but Nagpur metro is already established. And the story which we were trying to pitch, they actually are able to see that connectivity happening and people can commute and they can connect our project through metro station is a story which is unbelievable for a lot of investors and people. So that belief system in Nagpur has gone up, the trust in Nagpur has gone up. I mean, and that has been experienced unfortunately only by people who visit Nagpur. I mean, if you talk about Nagpur to people outside Nagpur, I mean, I travel to Bangalore, I travel to Pune, and I travel to other cities, also Bombay. They still are not in that belief system. So I think I would say that we have to really work very hard. The way we believe in Nagpur, the way we believe people staying in Nagpur, I think outside Nagpur also they have to start believing, especially I would request TCS and brands like that and Anuj and Rajat ji that आप लोग इतना internationally you talk to international players, you talk to outside players. I think they all have to look at Nagpur the way we started believing in Nagpur.
Atul, I think excellent points, and I need to share this with you all. I don't know how many cities in the world have a World Trade Center, but a city which has a World Trade Center has surely arrived in the world, and I credit him with getting the WTC to Nagpur. And the very important point that you brought about is something which I have also felt a lot of times, that people don't know about Nagpur, and how can we increase that? So this is something to the audience probably. Can we all take a pledge and try to get our friends and relatives to visit Nagpur? There's so many jungles to see. Let's take a pledge. Maybe every year we have a group of friends or relatives surely come down here, see what is Nagpur. There are some fantastic places around Nagpur to see, and that's how people will come to see Nagpur. If we have a population of what, 40 lakh, and if each person gets one family into Nagpur every year, it increases the growth of Nagpur tremendously. Because that's the only thing we lack probably is the visibility somehow. And a very important point, Atul, that you brought up. Gaurav, can you share again a born and brought up Nagpurite?
As Siddharth ji said, born and brought up in Nagpur, it's a pride to be born and brought up in Nagpur. We all need to feel that from within. It's not that a tier 2 or a tier 3 city. We know that Nagpur is poised for what it is. That's the reason why we are all sitting here and not moving out of Nagpur and working in different places. Rajat ji came back to Nagpur. He's proudly working in Nagpur. Atul ji from Bangalore, Pune experience came to Nagpur. There was something in Nagpur which attracted each one of us and ensured that we are all sitting here. Nagpur has a lot of history also. We have never felt the importance of Nagpur. We have never, जो बोलते हैं ना अपन महसूस नहीं किया, we did not take pride in that. We're talking about logistics in Nagpur in the last 4, 5, 6 years. 1960s, 70s, 80s, Nagpur used to be the logistic transshipment of all the courier. Flights from Delhi, Mumbai, Chennai, Calcutta used to come into Nagpur at 2, 3 in the nights. There used to be transfer of logistics, and people had Nagpur at that vision earlier also. But hum chhod diye. We left Nagpur for 20, 30 years. Now we are back. We are now trying to put Nagpur heavily.
Gaurav, I think I'll need to take a pause. We have honorary Nitin Gadkari ji here with us. Sir, आइए सर. हाँ बैठिए ना. आइए सर, बैठिए सर. I would like our President Gaurav Agarwal to welcome Nitin Gadkari ji.
Sir, आपके बड़े fan हैं। जबरदस्त काम किया आपने, genuinely, not because you are here.
He holds the potential to get a lot of companies to Nagpur. That's why we have invited him.
Bombay based, but क्या आपके मतलब एक तो आपकी sense of humor बहुत अच्छी है sir, one, and second is क्या
बाकी सबको आप जानते हैं, I think, sir. Sir, if you'll give us a few words of your vision for Nagpur, it would be very helpful for this panel as well as the audience. Gaurav, so we were with you when.
सर आपके आने के पहले हम ये बात कर रहे थे कि एज ए नागपुरियन हमको नागपुर के प्रति एक गर्व महसूस होने की ज़रूरत है. नागपुर की जो पोटेंशियल है, नागपुर की जो क्षमता है, इतने सालों से नागपुर एक सिटी रहा, पुराना 50 साल पुराना, 100 साल पुराना नागपुर की अहमियत रही. लास्ट 10 साल में उसकी अहमियत हमने ग्लोबल मैप पे लेके आ गए हैं. वी ऑल नीड टू पुश दिस फर्दर. तो द moment which I remember, I have traveled way back in 1980s in one of those flights जो लॉजिस्टिक का आज सपना हम वापस साकार कर रहे हैं. रात में 2 बजे नागपुर से दिल्ली वो जो ट्रांसशिपमेंट की फ़्लाइट आती थी जिसमें से कोरियर जाता था, उसमें मैं अपने ग्रैंडफादर के साथ एक बार ट्रैवल किया हूँ. तो नागपुर की अहमियत तब से है. ये हमने प्राइडली फील करना चाहिए. ये चीज़ अगर हम कर पाते हैं तो नागपुर की ग्रोथ में सब लोग मिलके उस पर आगे बढ़ सकते हैं.
Thank you, Gaurav. Anuj, at this point, probably, maybe you can tell us what are the points that you look at when you look to get a company to a city. What are the important points that you think about?
I think Sandeep, 4-5 things that you look at is, one is availability of talent. And in Nagpur, given the educational institutions, you have great talent that is available. Second is physical infrastructure. Physical infrastructure in terms of the roads, the metro, the connectivity from Bombay. वो मैं एक बोलूँगा सर 5:40 की सुबह फ्लाइट लेनी पड़ती है नागपुर आने के लिए. So that is one thing I think if you can look at it. Plus international flights, because Sandeep, a lot of the decision makers are also coming in from overseas in there. अगर वो overseas जैसे हैदराबाद में direct flight आती है या चेन्नई में, it does help. That's the second one. Third is जो safety, security, law and order है वहाँ पे, that is what we really look at it. And fourth is the momentum कि यहाँ पे बाकी companies जो हैं वो कैसे grow कर रही हैं, कैसे चल रहा है. And lastly हम देखते हैं social fabric क्या है यहाँ पे, in terms of retail mall, hotels, healthcare, and educational institutions, वो कैसे हैं. Those are the 5 things that you see. I think इसके अंदर पांचों चीज़ें हैं नागपुर के अंदर, बिकॉज आप देखो आपके पास टैलेंट बहुत अवेलेबल है इस टाइम पे, ग्रेट फिजिकल इंफ्रास्ट्रक्चर है, उसके अंदर एयरपोर्ट की आई थिंक आई वुड जस्ट से इज लिटिल बिट मोर नीड्स टू बी डन, ग्रेट आपके पास सोशल फैब्रिक है, एंड मोमेंटम इस टाइम पे काफ़ी बड़ा हुआ है. एंड कोई भी सिटी में आप देखोगे अगर इंफ्रास्ट्रक्चर डल जाए ना पहले, तो वो सिटी ग्लोबली, आई मीन आप मिल्टन कीन्स का एग्जाम्पल लो जो लंदन के बाहर हुई है, वहाँ पे उन्होंने पहले एक बार इंफ्रास्ट्रक्चर डाल दिया टू शिफ्ट the entire London to go in there is because एक बार इंफ्रास्ट्रक्चर डाल दिया वो हमेशा है. इंडिया में भी आप देख लो कहीं पे भी, बैंगलोर में एयरपोर्ट साउथ से नॉर्थ गया तो सारी सिटी उस साइड पे मूव होने लग गई है. हैदराबाद में आप देखो नया एयरपोर्ट जो है वो डिफरेंट डायरेक्शन में आया, सारी सिटी. अभी आप देखो सर जो बॉम्बे का होगा, सारा नवी मुंबई के अंदर पनवेल, दैट एरिया इज गोइंग टू डेवलप ह्यूजली. द बेस्ट थिंग इज नागपुर के अंदर इंफ्रास्ट्रक्चर डल गया, तो यू विल सी इज द मोमेंटम स्टार्टिंग टू कम. एक ही कमी है थोड़ी सी इसके अंदर, पीआर चाहिए और ज़्यादा सर, पीआर चाहिए इसके अंदर, मीडिया में पीआर चाहिए, गुड स्टोरीज चाहिए इसके अंदर. व्हेन यू लैंड यहाँ पे, इतनी सारी कंपनीज हैं आपके, इन्फोसिस, टीसीएस, सारे के सारे companies जो हैं, to be able to do that, ताकि पता तो लगे कि ये सारा का सारा, है यहाँ पे, वो थोड़ा सा newspaper में चाहिए.
First of all, I'm giving special thanks to all of you that your participation in this convention is very important. I am giving my special thanks to all of you. One of the things which is related with the Nagpur is the fastest growing city in country. 75% of the minerals we have in Maharashtra in Vidarbha, and 80% of forest in Vidarbha, Maharashtra's forest. Nagpur is called as tiger capital, because from Nagpur, 3.5 hour distance, we have 350 tigers. The Pench, Tadoba, Kana, then Umbred. Everywhere people are every time seeing tigers there. So it is one of the good attraction. Second thing is, we have just developed Ambora cable stayed bridge and the concept of Eiffel Tower. It's so beautiful because it is related with the Indira Sagar, Gosikhur Dam, national dam. Huge water body, water sports. Then we are making lot of things for entertainment, adventure sport, then water sports. So it is going to be one of the best destination for tourists. Then second is Tadoba, which is well attended, world people are coming there. And the third important thing is, the Mihan is the important project in Nagpur. We have all major IT companies in Mihan, and presently they are all in the process of expansion. And every company is planning to take 25, 30,000, 20,000 people within 2 years. Presently 68,000 young talented people get employment, and we are expecting within a year there will be creation of new employment of 1 lakh people. Now by this earning and growth, they need smart cities, smart development, restaurants and everything. So in the real estate, there is a huge demand. And actually a lot of people are doing, and their demand is increased. Restaurants and entertainment and other thing also, there is a huge potential. Nagpur has got 24-hour water supply. That is the only city in the country where the French company Vivolia, we have a joint venture, the first time 24-hour water availability in Nagpur. Some of the area now in the process of that. Water, power, and the most important thing is road network is good. At the same time now metro is good. Now we are planning to start electric buses, trolley buses in Nagpur and Mihan. So now decided to extension of metro up to Butiburi, here up to Ingna, and here up to Kanhan. So today the metro is one of the important strengths from Nagpur. The third important thing is 49 engineering colleges we have. And they already majority of the students, they are working in Mumbai and Pune. So already many of the students now coming here. We have got Symbiosis, then IM, AIMS, Nagpur is medical hub. Particularly people from Chhattisgarh and Madhya Pradesh, border state, and Telangana, people are coming to Nagpur. So by which Nagpur has got huge potential. And industrial point of view, we have just started Sindhi dry port. It means that we have taken sea up to Nagpur. So here you can make the export and import to whole world now. So Nagpur strength is, it is the 0 mile. The Kolkata, Chennai, Bangalore, Mumbai, Delhi, all is equidistant from Nagpur. Nagpur is well connected. It is on the line of Mumbai, Kolkata and Delhi, Madras. The central place is Nagpur. So logistic point of view also it is good. Then now we are planning to connect the Vidarbha from Gadchiroli to Visakhapatnam. So Visakhapatnam port will be nearer as compared with Mumbai. So even we are also planning to make Kakinada also. So I feel that it is a very, very logistic point of view, it's good location. And I feel that low cost and affordable housing, we can make smart villages now. Smart cities like smart villages. We have to use the different type of technology by which, without compromising the quality, we need to reduce the cost. Majority real estate people want to make costly affairs. And still they are getting order, they are happy about it, but there is saturation. For the mass requirement, it is the time for the real estate people to come for low cost housing. My dream is to make the smart village. I am not a builder, but my planning is giving 500 square feet house with 1000 acre square feet plot. Free electricity for the lifelong, electricity will be free. Water will be available 24 hours, and the cost of the house will be 5 lakhs rupees. 5 lakhs. So, just now we have 1 hour stall is there, Manas Group, and there is, we have already constructing the walls using flash, thermocol, and my idea is to cost of construction will be maximum 1200 rupees per square feet. So, just take Mahindra chairman, Gurnani was with me. He was with me, now he is for Mahindra resort. So I just suggest him, we have already, one of the real estate person has used our material and make 5,000 houses in Indore. I have personally make my own house and even slab also with that material we have made. So I feel that we can reduce the cost by up to 1200 rupees per square feet. Your cost may be 2,500. Without compromise with the quality, reducing the cost and make it affordable to the poor people, it is going to create 20 times more demand as compared with the present demand which you are making. So here is the huge opportunity for that. I feel that the most important thing in the development is per capita income and growth rate. The Nagpur per capita income is very good, and growth in Maharashtra, the Nagpur growth is also equally good. By today, we are planning for making, we have IT industries, we have coal gasification. Only the thing we have international airport is pending with the Supreme Court. We are waiting for that. Otherwise, all the problem related to the infrastructure is already solved. So presently, it is difficult to get room in 5-star hotel in Nagpur. It is overbooked. We need more hotels. We are planning for making first agro convention center of the country in Nagpur. We have started the work. So here is a lot of potential, and I feel that it is to be a good destination for your business. And even for IT industries, majority important industries all are here. And I don't want to criticize anybody about, to tell negativity about anything. But Aziz Premji many times come to me, and Kiran Mujumdar and the people from Bangalore, and they always telling me what are the traffic jam problem in Bangalore. So I always give them solution. Why you insist for Bangalore? Come to Nagpur.
Yes,
I will
sir.
resolve
Yes,
it.
yes, sir.
We are also making a ring road of 20,000 crore in Bangalore. We are doing a lot of things, but Nagpur, it's a good destiny. And we have all cement concrete roads. We have all express highways now connecting to Nagpur, Samruddhi Mahamarga. So my feeling is, it is to be an ideal situation for development. You are all welcome here. We will support you, and we will, any problem you have, we will resolve that. And that is the reason we want to create the platform by which there will be cooperation, coordination, and communication between the stakeholders, and we will resolve your problem. Once again, I'm giving my special thanks to you for your participation. Thank you very much. Namaskar.
Thank you, Nitinji. मेरे को किसी ने ये स्टोरी सुनाई थी कि जब इज़राइल नया स्टेट बना था तो उनके जो फाउंडर्स थे they did not call scientists or industrialists to Israel to start it off. They actually called philosophers, artists, painters, sculptors. These were the kind of people, sportsmen, these were the kind of people they called. And I see the same vision in Gadkari ji. He started the Khasdar Sanskritik Mahotsav first to get culture into Nagpur. And then next he started Khasdar Krida Mahotsav to get the sports into Nagpur. And as a result of that, now we are in a position that we can have Khasdar Audyogik Mahotsav. Sir, thank you for having a great vision for Nagpur. Thank you, sir.
स्पोर्ट्स इवेंट का समाप्ति है 70,000 आज क्रीड़ा महोत्सव का समापन है 70,000 खिलाड़ी खेले 8,000 तो पंच है और 66 गेम है और करीब 75 ग्राउंड्स है और कल मैं रात को गया था एक ग्राउंड पर 2-2, 3-3, 4-4 हज़ार लोग रात को 11 बजे तक खेल रहे थे और जो वो सीनियर सिटीजन खेले उसमें महिला 80 इयर्स 82 इयर्स 5,000 सीनियर सिटीजन स्पर्धा में भाग थैंक यू
Thank you, sir. Thank you, sir. Guys, please settle down. Gadkari ji was a bonus for us. We can continue our panel discussion. Please be seated. Arvind, I think Anuj raised some points which he has to take off before he can get people out here. So I think you probably have a kind of bird's eye view experience. You've been through the process of starting a project from zero and getting it to a substantially good place today, with probably over 10,000 people already working there. Can you comment on where we are at Nagpur as regards to the metrics he spoke about?
In fact, I would like to concur 200% to what Gadkari ji mentioned. And the very first point, in fact, Anuj, you was mentioning about the availability of talent, right? My take about a talent or any other things that when we are starting something or we have adopted the city, we need to get integrated, right? And unless and until we get integrated with the city, we will not get a feel of it, will not get the full potential of it. As Gadkari ji was mentioning, there are 49 engineering colleges, right? And if Nagpur is not able to absorb it, these engineers or even the MBA graduates move to the cities like Pune and Mumbai or Hyderabad and Bangalore. Do we as an industry can reach out to them and give them an experience here in that particular city, in this city itself? That was the first mantra that we took. And we proposed to all the directors and the principals. I came in November 2014, and December 2014, I called a meeting of the directors and principals of various engineering colleges in TCS campus. At that point of time, we had not formally started, okay? And we said that, why don't we walk together in this journey? Because if you look at the IT industry, human capital is the raw material, and the human capital is the final product as well. Rest of the things that we do is a byproduct, right? IT industry is known to nurture leaders, young folks seeing eye to eye, to the folks who are 50s and 60s, understanding the problem and giving the solutions. That's the beauty of the IT industry as far as the India is concerned. And what we did was, we proposed that can we have 6 months of an internship in comparison to the 6 weeks of or 8 weeks of an internship, which is typically a norm in the engineering institute, right? What was the idea? What was the philosophy? Because otherwise it is going to be a you versus me. I wanted that the engineers, the young engineers, while they are there in the colleges, in their 7th and 8th semester, they become a part of TCS. Soak in what that corporate culture is, what the technology that we are working, what are the processes, how do we talk to the customers, right? All of those. And as a result of which, I would say that the TCS, whatever the numbers that we are seeing today, is what the result of that. Yes, last year, we had 400 engineering interns in the TCS Nagpur campus, and this number was the largest as far as any other TCS campus is concerned, right? And as I said, that we are full services campus. It means that whatever the technology, whatever the niche area where we work as an organization, the TCS Nagpur also works in those areas as well, right? And with the help of those young and energetic, enthusiastic, and passionate young engineers, okay? So that's an integration. We need to come forward, give them in a space. And because of that we did it, I'm pretty sure many of our peers, they got a confidence. Today, Mihan, if you walk in, when we started in year 2014, there was only a TCS, right? Rest of our peers has taken a land. But probably, we gave them a confidence that, yes, boss, agar TCS 1000 ho sakta hai, to hum bhi ho sakte hai. TCS 5000 हो सकता है तो हम भी ये जो 500 हो सकते हैं. TCS 10,000 हो सकता है तो हम भी 5,000 हो सकते हैं. I believe that is what today actually walking into Mihan, you see a lot of those logos, lot of those buildings which is there in Mihan, right? So somebody has to take that first step. I always say that my role was not just to establish TCS Nagpur in Mihan. It was actually create the complete ecosystem within Nagpur, okay? In fact, I can take a credit that TCS Nagpur brought even Domino's or Pizza Hut into Mihan, right? Because earlier there was no there. Red bus, green bus, gray bus into Mihan. I had to talk to all those people and say that, yes, please come. I had to call the metro guys, Mr. Gupta, to TCS Nagpur campus that, yes, please, स्टार्ट करो. रात के 10 बजे 10:30 बजे भी आप है जो खापरी मेट्रो स्टेशन पे टर्मिनेट करो, राइट? एंड ऑल ऑफ दोस दैट वाज अ पार्ट ऑफ माय जॉब प्रोफाइल, unstated job profile, I would say that, right? Okay, so that's the first part. Availability of talent is not in scarcity. If, for example, today there are 50,000 or 60,000 IT engineers who are working in Nagpur, but double that number of Nagpur engineers are working in Pune and other places. It is important that we create the right ingredients to bring back those people back into Nagpur, which is the route for them. And everyone loves to get back to the route. I'm pretty sure everyone loves to get back to the route. And that is what the effort that we have to do. Second part, you talked about the infrastructure. I was just mentioning, Anuj, that when you walk towards Mihan, right? From the city to Mihan, and especially after 6 o'clock in the evening, I believe that are we getting towards Las Vegas, because so many beautiful, colorful, all those boards, Second Life, Rudra Royal, Jailer's Kitchen, ना जाने क्या क्या वहाँ पे. And I say that are we getting into a Las Vegas? The only thing which is missing is some fountains, some those POP models, which is there, right? If you do that, I do not know if some of you are owners of those garden restaurants or not, but yes, if you do that, you will convert whatever the life that we are talking about, the social life that, the garden restaurant se bada space aur kahan ho sakta hai, right? In the air, well integrated with the nature and in enjoy whatever that you want to enjoy, what Siddharth was referring to, right? Siddharth was offering to Anus. in the Nagpur, Nagpur street, whatever you call it, right? There is already a London street, you can always call it as a Las Vegas street, okay? so already there, some of these things are there. It is important that we recognize it, we harness it more, and making visible. Third things that I always say that when we actually go to Bangalore or Hyderabad or Pune, all of these places, when we step out of the airport or railway station, you see all those boards, right? TCS, Tata Consultancy Services, Accenture, Cognizant, Capgemini, Wipro, and all of those. In Nagpur, what has happened is that we got a very safe place. That's called Mihan, right? For you to see the logo of TCS or HCL or Infosys or Tech Mahindra or Infocept or Persistent, you have to really cross that toll gate to see those logos. What today, as an association, as at the Advantage Vidarbha, what we can do is that can we bring those logos in the Vardha street, right? See, Nagpur, Vardha street is the backbone of Nagpur. Unless and until the things are visible through the Vardha road, nothing is visible, right? So we need to bring back whatever way and the format. Again, you have to look into, we have to look and deliberate that how do we bring those logos? Once the people see that, yes, TCS is there, HCL is there, Infosys is there, Tech Mahindra is there, Persistent is there, Ascent Business Solution is there, right? All those excellent software is there. When they see that, a lot of things, they will actually become attracted, right? Both in terms of a talent, because even today in TCS is an ocean, right? 6 lakhs employee base. And yes, we are still that single-digit percentage as far as the TCS ocean is concerned. Not many people or not many Nagpurians within TCS know that we have such a good scale in Nagpur itself, right? And so that when they come through the airport and the railway station, they should see that so many companies are there. And that is what will bring back the talents here. That will also bring the investments, because when the other company go into Bangalore and they see all those logos, those bright lights logos and everything which is there, they get attracted. You don't have to sell Bangalore. You don't have to sell Bangalore. Today, 4 out of the 5 largest Indian IT software company, right? TCS, Wipro, Infosys, HCL, Tech Mahindra, except for Wipro, all 4 are here, and all 4 has 100 acres campus, more than 100 acres campus in Nagpur. Just look at, that's the strength that we have in Nagpur today. Mid-tier companies, again, I can go on and on, taking a lot of names. There are 135 IT companies that operate in Nagpur. Smaller, mid, and as well as large, all are there. In fact, Accenture is also here, and with 500 employee base, okay, on a rented premises in the IT park. So that way, if you just look at, a lot of things are already here. It's not that we are just starting. It's not that we are starting. We have already started. How do we mature from where that we are to actually next is what the strategy we all who are sitting in this particular room and beyond that, we have to think through and make it happen. Thank you.
So, Arvind, from what I'm getting from you is, I think Nagpur has already arrived. We just need to make it visible. Probably that's where the real concern is. Rajat, some words from you on the similar points.
Thank you, Siddharth. A few important points for everybody to recognize. Whenever people speak in IT about Nagpur, there is a misconception that only second-tier work is happening in the city. Right? That's a myth. When we set up Ascent, 20 years back, the word GCC wasn't popular at that point in time, but the company was built on the basis of competency centers, even then. Some of you might know, but Ascent's a healthcare technology-focused entity. We're proud to claim that the top 150 health systems of USA literally operate on technology and services delivery out of Nagpur Center. So, and to give you an idea of that quantum, close to about $20 billion worth of processing happens every month out of Nagpur Center alone on the US healthcare industry today. Now, if you look at that quantum, that's grade A tier work, not just TCSs, okay, not just Wipros, HCLs, which are oceans of people. We are merely about 3,000 people today as an entity, but from that space, when we bring in global tier companies into Nagpur to visit these centers, and we have other centers across the country as well, Nagpur is always turning out to be the preferred location for outsourcing for them, be it their tech, be it their services, and that's a combination of multiple factors that Anuj mentioned earlier. That's also a combination of what Gadkari ji mentioned. It is not just about the size of the city, it's not just about the quality of infrastructure, it's the combination of those multiple factors. Human capital, social capital, quality of life. Over 20 years of delivery across tier A cities as well as tier B cities, our longest retention of workforce is in Nagpur. Our attrition rates are in single digits compared to 25-30% in metro cities. And I would go ahead to the point of saying that our leadership in Nagpur, on an average, is 15 years in the company. And that is an ode to what Nagpur brings. It's the quality of life. Once people come in here, they do not want to leave the city. Once you have experienced metro cities, you have experienced Nagpur, nobody with families and values wants to leave the city. The combination is so powerful, Anuj. What we now believe from the combination of those factors, Nagpur is everything. It's about now a little bit of that extra push to get that city to tier A levels. And I think with the vision that Gadkari ji, Fadnavis ji, and the others have set for this place, the trappings of Nagpur being a top 5 city has arrived. I think we just really need help and assistance from likes of you to push that charter a little bit and drive that. One thing that people don't recognize, of course, the big companies bring that magnet effect. Nagpur has a very rocking ecosystem on startups. There are over 105 startups right now of Nagpurians who are established overseas who have come back to set cities in the last 5 years alone. So there are 105 operating setups with Nagpur as a principal location and growing. And some of those entities have gone from anywhere between 100 to 500 people in the city. And that is only bound to expand. That is an ode to Nagpur's human capital, the whole infrastructure capability, the availability of infrastructure that's now getting better. And that's where we expect some leadership from our friends from the real estate industry to keep building up that social infrastructure here as well. Thank you.
Sorry, it is very fascinating, Rajiv, what you and Rajat have said. It is amazing. It is an eye-opener. I was just going to make this an outsider's view of inside Nagpur. Because what you both spoke, I wasn't aware anything what you have spoken in that is. So
we were also not aware, I think.
These are eye-opener statistics, what you have given it. I'm just saying is, as an outsider, what are the 5 things that Nagpur should do? Look, ultimately, it needs to happen as well. However, we can sit in this room and pat our back. Ultimately, it is still not happening. There has to be something. So, again, Gaurav, you can throw what I'm going to say out of the window. Again, this is an outsider's view of inside. So I'm going to be a little bit critical of what I think needs to be done, because all these statistics, 5 things I would say. One, conferences and seminars like these guys. You have to do it. You have to bring in the relevant stakeholders. I wish I could get in the Blackstone and the Brookfield guys for them to listen.
I'll keep talking in between.
Okay.
So on this point, in case we are able to organize something similar in Mumbai, where we have Arvindji's request, Rajat's request, we fly into Mumbai.
And that's what I was
and-
saying, Gaurav. Exactly that point is, look, they did not come in. I mean, they're dear, dear friends of mine. I mean, I've known them for 30 years. Many of them have worked for me. And yet, they said, Anuj, it'll be really an obligation. You want to pull that obligation off me, then I'll come. In there is, I have only limited gold coins, so I saved that gold coin. In that is, but I agree with what Gaurav is saying is, look, guys, we will have to do this conference, this seminar in Bombay. Because the first time, Gaurav, we'll have to do that there only, and then we'll be able to do it. So I'll say 5 things. One is that, because this is, and we need both of you there. And the passion that you spoke with, the data points, and this is the reality. Me speaking about Nagpur will still be like an outsider's view. I mean, what you can speak, the anecdotes that you have, the information you have is far more convincing. The second, I would say, is the success stories. I think we should do some case studies, the way that it is. For people like us, we love it. Maybe a 10, 12 minute, I'm not saying like 2-hour case study, 10, 12 minutes, 3 or 4 case studies, what happened over the last 8 years in TCS when they came in, how they have grown and what they have been able to do. Third, Gaurav, I genuinely feel is you need to bring in a co-working guy here. A good co-working guy, a WeWork, or a table space, or an office, or a SmartWorks, any of these guys you have to bring in.
So, okay, so when we talk about all these things within our CREDI fraternity, we feel that we are all ready to build such things, but we do not have connect with people who we can get connected and get them to Nagpur.
So Gaurav,
what to build, where to build, what is the requirement?
No problem. Look, Gaurav, it'll have to be pro bono. The trouble is you'll build for commercial. They are not going to come in for commercial. That's the point I'm trying to say. Look, Hyderabad, I mean, I don't know how many of you have been there. The government of Hyderabad built a co-working.
Yeah, we've seen that.
You've seen that incubation center. The full building's been built.
Even Chhattisgarh government is also working co-working.
So something like that, because look, any guy who's going to come in, like an Accenture, you said is come in, 500 job, they would love to go in a co-working. For 500, you have to fit out the office space, you have to do the facilities management, the property management, the lease, the agreement. I mean, it's painful. I just want to make sure is that I've got safe, secure place for my people. If they do well and I'm getting the output, I will take larger spaces. The fifth is, you will need to bring in the private equity boys in here. And I'll tell you, look, out of the top 5 developers in India, 3 are foreign private equity guys. 3 are foreign private equity guys who have on the office space. Now, if they come in, they have, each one of them has contact connection with about 500 occupiers. They'll be able to bring those occupiers with them because they have deep connections with these guys. So I would say is a Blackstone, a Brookfield, and a GIC. Those are the 3 guys that I would really, try and see is what can be done to be able to bring them into here. And lastly, I agree what you said about social. But, guys, there has to be some nightclub that, I fly from Bombay to come in and say, buddy, this is the only nightclub that is available in there. Yes, you can go to home. Yes, you can go to a club. But there has to be, I'm telling you, is that the youngsters do want that. They don't want to go to somebody's house. They will have the best parties. Mr. Saraf will have the best party. But,
There's something I want to, I don't think I can speak out here, but I've never been there, but Nagpur is known for it for, probably last 50, 60 years. We have a lot of nightlife.
Okay. I mean, proper nightlife, I mean.
So, okay, points noted. We do feel that we also need to, as a fraternity, come and get some things going. We can't just keep waiting for things to happen. But we would require a lot of simultaneous support from both IT and probably teams like you, where, if we find 10 like-minded people who are willing to come together, try and create something like a co-working space, because risk-taking capacity for a single person may be a difficult thing. If 8, 10 people come together, the risks are diluted. And we can try and rope in the government also to support wherever possible. let's try and do that together.
I mean, I was just giving examples of the way that the government, does it. So I'll just give you one example. In Hyderabad, now the government is not in power. KCR and KTR. I mean, KTR, if you were to ever meet up with him, what a dude, he was, that he was able to excite. So, he said, Anuj, I want this to be organized in Bombay. We booked at the Trident in BKC, and whom we got was bankers. I mean, like Atul said, one of the big problem with the funders is that they don't really look at tier 2 cities that benevolently as they look at a tier 1 city. We got in bankers. We got in the occupiers. These are the IT companies like you. We got in the private equity guys who were the movers and shakers, and we got the media in there. That is how they started to build the profile. I think Atul said a very nice thing in the room, and we'll allow him to speak, is like, Pune first did about Pune. They marketed Pune and they made that city, as Pune. I think we have to do Nagpur first. And then we will have to drop down to say, okay, it is IT, it is, these many sectors, but Nagpur will need to be branded in the media and in the various stakeholders who matter.
Atul, I think our audience would be also eager to hear, you've been a part of the journey which Pune has had in the last 20 years, from a sleepy town to a bustling metro city. And I guess this panel is actually looking at the same thing happening to Nagpur. Though I can't say now that Nagpur is a sleeping town, but it's still not an awakened giant like Pune. So can you give us some pointers and also some experiences that you can share, please?
So thank you, Siddharth. I think before I speak about Pune and Nagpur, I think I would like to talk about Nagpur and my experience with Nagpur. What I've seen and what I've heard from everyone here is that we talk about generating employment, we talk about creating infrastructure for IT, we talk about creating infrastructure for training those people. At the same time, they also subtly said about the social infrastructure, and I think as World Trade Center, Nagpur, as a project in heart of Nagpur, we have worked on that. What we did was we first redeveloped the organized or unorganized retail, which was already there for last 100 years. Then we created a box for 2 floors of box for the organized retail, where we have lifestyle, Starbucks, and all the established brands. And also we had one of the most prominent local brands doing retailing for last so many years, and he's been trading Ashish NX in the first 2 floors. And then the other 2 floors we got in unorganized players, because Nagpur was known for unorganized retailing. And we have devoted 70,000 square feet space for entertainment and multiplex. And then we devoted 1 floor for the restaurants and the nightlives and the pubs. And on top of that, we have 1 floor devoted for incubation center, and we've been talking to SmartWorks and WeWorks for co-working, and Gaurav was just saying talk about that. So I think we were trying to work parallelly with you, when we were talking to players, and we were working on this project of World Trade Center, Nagpur, Sitabardi. I mean, we all worked together. Like you were working on IT, you were working on retaining talent, like you said, a Nagpurian trying to retain Nagpurian talent. We also worked together with you, creating a vision in heart of the town on interjunction of metro, where we envisage that we will have more than 1 million people traveling from that junction, and they will have a facility where we will have 1,500 car parks, 200 two-wheelers parking, and a social infrastructure which Nagpur would need, because Nagpur is not going to be just an urban destination, but also it's going to be a tourism destination. What we heard yesterday, that when they are planning to convert Nagpur into and increase the capacity of tiger, I mean, they have 350 tigers, but the capacity to see them, they're going to increase 4-folds by bringing in electric vehicles. I mean, we heard yesterday, and they are working on it. They are making eco-friendly vehicles, and the capacity would go up 4 times. Imagine the kind of floating population we will have. So this is not going to be just an urban destination, but it will be a tourism destination. It will be a destination itself. Like people travel to Phuket, people travel to Bangkok, people travel to all the Asian countries only to visit and travel for tourism. I mean, this is the center India's capital. If all said and done, may not be capital of Maharashtra, but if you look at the center India, it has always been the central capital. And it attracted a lot of floating population. So parallelly, I think retailers or the real estate people are working on that. And as we said, marketing is really lacking. We are really not visible. We are really not that prominent. And we would like to also tell Anuj, we really need your support. Because retailers, we take a lot of hard work to convince them to come to Nagpur. Good brands, we really take a lot of hard work to come to Nagpur and support us. Funds, I mean, they all are putting Nagpur in a negative list. I'm sure your suggestion should be taken up by CREDAI, and we all will come to Bombay to market Nagpur. I mean, talking about Pune and Nagpur, I think that's what we started doing in '96 way back. I mean, Nagpur, the way you see Nagpur, Pune was similar. I mean, in '96, when Pune was called as pensioners' paradise, everybody used to say that you work in Bombay and then you retire in Pune. That's right. I mean, from there, today it's a complete urban conglomerate where you have migration highest in Maharashtra. More than Thane, almost 35 to 40% increase year-on-year population, which is very huge, Anuj, in your figures. More than 2 lakh apartments sold. I mean, you're talking about 1 crore apartment and 15 lakh throughout the country. 2 lakh apartments are sold in Pune itself. I think immediately after Bangalore. So that story has just happened in 20 years. The way Gadkari Saab is marketing Nagpur, I have seen their political leaders marketing Pune way back in '96. What we see, Mihan, we have seen the challenges of Hinjewadi, and today the infrastructure in Mihan is much better what we saw when Hinjewadi took off. I mean, I'm sure you will. I mean, in Hinjewadi, still today, like 2 years back, they formed an association and they approached our leaders, please give us good infrastructure. We are really facing challenges.
And that's an advantage Nagpur has. Nagpur infrastructure is 10 years ahead of the need.
Of the needs. I mean, Hinjewadi was still facing challenges. Absolutely. I mean, the flyovers, what you see in Pune, they broke the main flyover and still the flyover is under construction. In Nagpur, you already have all those flyovers constructed in the right way, in the right design. We went wrong on the design in Pune. and we had to break our flyovers and redo it. I mean, that's the quality of infrastructure we had in Pune. I mean, he called Bombay in his own words, and I would not like to call my city in my own words, because for me, all cities are my bread and butter. But definitely Nagpur has this advantage. Nagpur has really created a vision for all these people, but we need to market, we need to go out and sell Nagpur.
And don't just sell Nagpur as a Nagpur because it rhymes, okay? So there are many other things. We started with so many attributes. Talk about that. Thank you.
Atul, I think you've told us the story in a very short manner. I will need a step-by-step guide from you. Maybe offline we can take it. How can Nagpur emulate Pune? That would be something which maybe also the rest of CREDAI would also like to hear someday. So we'll take that offline and see to that. Gaurav, if you can comment on what do you see as, I believe, some of the points were about hotel and flights and so on and so forth. Any idea you can throw on that? What is Nagpur thinking?
So see, Siddharthji, I think a lot of things have come out as a takeaway from this panel discussion. We know the strengths now. We have engineering colleges, we have the talent, we have upcoming social infrastructure. The challenges which we have, the flight connectivities and the hotels, we were aware of that, but that has been highlighted to the right forum. Let's see how we can get those things moving. Main challenge which we all feel right now after this is the visibility of Nagpur. I think that's something which we all need to understand ASAP and start working on putting Nagpur onto first Maharashtra and then probably India and then probably go global. That Nagpur is a destination. Nagpur is not a tier 2 or a tier 3 city. Nagpur is a city. And Nagpur is ready to take what it is needed. We are all there. This has to be marketed. We can't just always finger point at the government. We all need to sit together, think together, work together, and probably get it to the next level. This is what I feel. And I think we can do it. If we feel we can do it. If we feel we cannot, then we can never do it. Let's all have a positive attitude that we can actually transform Nagpur, put it to the global map. We have the right leadership right now. We have had beautiful working in the last 5-7 years. And in times to come, we hope the leadership continues. And we get the right visibility through them.
Thank you, Gaurav. I think I have around 10 minutes before I open up the for questions. Just a few minutes. I would like if Arvind, you can tell us something which your Nagpur center has been able to do, which probably your other centers have not been able to do, or some story of some kind which you feel is inspiring, where the achievement of Nagpur was something different.
See, one thing, all our customers, because it is an SEZ, so it is an all whatever that we do is a foreign currency. So customers are from across the world. And it is not just one part of the world. There are customers for all parts of the world, whether it is in North America to South America to UK to Europe to Middle East to Japan or to Australia. So as I'm speaking, I'm just scanning through all the geographies. All the geographies are here getting served from Nagpur. And as well as a part of that, I do visit, I do get a lot of visitors from, which is a TCS leadership visitor, right? From the various location of TCS. One thing which all of them point out, whether it is a customer or actually the TCS leaders or TCS associate who come to the campus, is that there is something different in this campus. The aura is extremely different, extremely positive, okay? One is because the way the campus itself is built, it is well integrated with the nature, and because it is well integrated with the nature, and as well as the way actually I always say that it is not just ABC, it is A to Z. Because my point is that when you are walking into the TCS campus and you are getting greeted by the security guards at the perimeters, you should have that particular glimpse of what today as TCS Nagpur we stand for, right? So that is what is the experience that we want to give, and that is the experience all the visitors they get when they actually come to TCS Nagpur. And that's what differentiates TCS Nagpur, if you just ask me. Otherwise, the TCS is TCS. It is a one TCS. It is a one TCS. That's a philosophy that we live with. But yes, there is an element of a culture, a local culture. This is what differentiates TCS Nagpur versus the rest of the TCS.
Thank you, Arvind. Now, if you're all right, we'll take some questions from the floor. Is there a mic? Yeah. Mahadev has a mic. Any questions? And if you want some particular panelist to say, please ask accordingly.
Okay. Am I audible? Sir, my question is to you, Mr. Gaurav Agrawal. Sir, as this discussion is about real estate, I was actually hoping something about affordable housing and about Maharera, which is the thing people are keenly interested to know more about. So can you please tell us about Maharera and the scenario of affordable housing in the city?
Sir, can you please introduce yourself also?
Sir, this is Arpan Pathania from Dahitwad.
See, Arpan, the theme of today's session was Nagpur, the emerging metro. So that's the reason why we have not taken affordable housing and RERA. These are subjects which we keep day in and day out discussing all through. And with the panelists which we have today, these topics are kind of not relevant. I can't say irrelevant because they are very relevant topics, but not relevant with the forum and the discussions which we have had. We will discuss this offline once this session gets over. I'll give you a bite on that.
सर मैं सुरेश विंचुरकर मेरी बेटी टीसीएस में थी. मैं स्पेशली सर से पूछना चाहता हूँ कि सर टीसीएस और बाकी सारे कंपनियों के 100 एकर्स के कैंपस है, लेकिन जब उनके एम्प्लॉयज़ के लिए वहाँ पर इंटरव्यू के लिए या बाकी लोग जो आते हैं उस पूरे मिहान में सर सर्विस सेक्टर्स के लिए कुछ भी एक आधा इंडस्ट्रियल शॉपिंग कॉम्प्लेक्स या कुछ नहीं है जहाँ किसी की गाड़ी पंचर होती है या चाय नाश्ता करना है या वेल्डर इलेक्ट्रिशियन जो आपको सर्विस प्रोवाइड कर सकते हैं, उनके लिए सर ऐसा कुछ भी शॉपिंग कॉम्प्लेक्स नहीं है. जो भी फैसिलिटीज़ है वो आपके कैंपस के अंदर है.
बिल्कुल ये हमारा भी डिमांड है. टू बी वेरी ऑनेस्ट दैट व्हेन एनीबडी walks in and there is a lot of walk-in that happens, recruitment वगैरह के लिए होता है. And I also have been tabling this to the MADC, the relevant authority, because it does not come under the TCS purview, that there should be some provision. There has to be some washrooms and restrooms whereby the parents or the kids who are walking in, they should be able to use those facilities. Similarly, there should be a food court, which is irrespective of, we within campus has a lovely food court, right? But not everyone can get into that campus because they have to cross those 4 layers of a security before they get into that particular zone, right? So some of those facilities, sir, आपने जो बोला है वो होना चाहिए मिहान के अंदर में. हम लोगों ने भी टेबल किया है, and I hope that that actually sees the light of the day. Thank you.
Arvind, I think we are trying to address this thing by having a B2B with the IT sector at 6 p.m. today, where how Credai and other real estate companies can step up and bridge all these gaps, because we are open to these things. We actually don't know about the problems. So if we know about the problems, we can find solutions. So we need to get together.
Yeah, we'll definitely take this point across to the relevant authorities from our side as well. You have been saying that, but let us also put this across to them.
Thank you.
Hello, sir. Good afternoon. This is Vikas. So, sir, my question is to Gaurav, sir. Sir, जो नागपुर में most of the जो real estate का sector है, उसमें flat scheme and another one is plot scheme, right? So, जो ज़्यादा traditional way है नागपुर का plot sector, so आप उसको कैसे मतलब उस पे explain कर सकते, right?
I would request people to restrict it to the topic we have today. These questions we can answer any time in any Credai meeting or something. I request you all, because we have eminent panelists with us today.
Okay. Sure.
Please take the use of that and get something out from them instead of from Gaurav or me.
Good afternoon. Myself, Ram Gangwani from Nagpur Properties. I am into plotted development. I would like to ask, which are the 5-star hotels which are upcoming or pipeline in Nagpur which are coming?
I think Sanjay Bhaiya was here. He would be a better person to answer that. Is he left? Okay, I think Gaurav, then you can take that.
Okay. So we were just discussing this couple of hours back. Sanjay Gupta ji, he owns a hotel, Hotel Ashok. He was mentioning that Holiday Inn is coming in Sitabordi. There is Hilton coming in next to the airport. And about total 2,000 room inventory is getting constructed in Nagpur city, which is expected to be up and running in the next 2 years. This is what Sanjay Bhaiya informed to us. And another 2,000 plus room inventory in the pipeline, which is not yet started. So this is the only information which we have right now. Which 2,000 I would not know. So
Tata Ginger is obviously there, but we are talking about the 5-star hotels. So in that, Hilton and Holiday Inn, right? And Atul, can you add to that? I think you're also getting something in a hotel or something in your WTC?
We were talking to 2 or 3 brands,
okay,
but they have not approved our location. And we were, you know, because they were looking at and standalone buildings. So this being a composite building, we could not cater to their upscale demand. I mean, this would cater to say 15-20 lakhs per room key size. But I think if you want to really have a Ritz-Carlton or you want to have a JW Marriott, something a very upscale, they need a standalone building. Yeah. It will be like a tourism, very lemon tree brand. But that doesn't suit our real estate prices and their, you know, so it was a mismatch.
Anil, yeah. आप पूछ लो.
I am Anil Nair, sir, and my question is to Anuj. We keep on talking about our comparison of Nagpur with Pune. My question is in two parts. How is the growth pattern of Indore, and can we see the progress of Nagpur with Indore and the parameters of all those growths which has happened in Indore? And Indore is not seen as a sleeping city, one. And second, it is not in the negative list. So why it is so? And should we target that way?
I think it's a very interesting question. Indore is a very vibrant city. I mean, if you look at it in terms of the real estate pricing, real estate investment, you know, someone like a Blackstone is already invested in Indore. Look at the malls that have come up. The only difference is that Indore has also not been able to attract IT. So if we are looking to attract IT, then they are not the right example for us. But otherwise, you know, you're absolutely right. And also it is true is that does every city need to only attract IT? It can become vibrant. The example that you have said is Indore is equally vibrant. You know, there is a huge amount of economic activity that is coming up, that is happening in there. And that is also being witnessed by the way the real estate pricing and the demand and the growth is happening, but it is not IT. So, you know, maybe we will need to decide is, do we want Nagpur to be IT like Pune or Hyderabad, or do we want Nagpur to be like Indore? Both are very good, you know, in their own right, doing very well. So I think that's a question that one will in Nagpur need to take a call that which direction we want to, you know, proceed.
Hello, Sir Pratish here. Sir, any message for all CREDAI members? Anu sir, for you.
I think 4 or 5 things that I would say is that, look, this industry is becoming a very mature industry. You know, jo wo mom and pop tha, you know, a lot of the lack of discipline, lack of governance, you know, lack of respect for the customer. I think wo sara abhi, you know, chala gaya hai uske andar. So this will get very consolidated. It'll become a very nice industry to play in. It'll be a sector, you know, globally it is such a large sector. It's such a vibrant sector. I mean, look at any of these large countries like US. I'm not even talking Dubai, which has 25% of its GDP coming in through real estate. I'm saying is US, you take it, 17% of it is. So it is a really, really fantastic thing. The only thing is that they have matured and they have become consolidated. Where the, you know, insurance sector was perhaps in the late 90s, or where the financial sector was in the early 90s, I think that is what we were in the, I would say 2018-19. So we have about a 10-year journey in this. We are going through that transformation, huge amount of consolidation, not only of developers, you know, of intermediaries, huge amount of consolidation of funders. Look at the NBFCs. I mean, I have to look at how many of them have got consolidated. So just be careful, remain very disciplined, remain very well governed, build your organization as an organization, remain averse to debt, be customer focused, and there will be black swan events like COVID. May not be a COVID, there will be some other events. So your organization should be strong enough to be able to withstand, you know, those issues that are there is. And that's what I would say is, there will be in my opinion, influx of more developers. Look, consolidation has become extreme. The pendulum has swung the other way. In no industry we have seen this kind of consolidation that has happened. There has to be more developers that will have to come in here to be able to meet the demand. Otherwise, I said is that the unsold inventory is at its lowest ever in there is. So that means there has to be more supply that has to be created. If you speak with each one of you, I think you are running at 150 miles an hour already. Very difficult for you to be able to expand further. So there will be new players that will come in. Would it become just a game of corporate? I don't think so. I think this will still remain very local. Globally also, if you look at it, none of the developers have been able to become global developers. Even in India, many developers tried to become India-wide and then they retracted in this. So I think local developers will remain very niche and will remain very prevalent, but there will be added people that will come in because it is becoming like an industry today, and that is where you will enjoy playing in this sector.
Yeah. I think we are now short of time. I would like to hand over back to him.
Thank you. I request Shri Eklavya Vasekar ji to conclude today's event with vote of thanks.
Good evening. First of all, I would like to thank Honorable Shri Nitinji Gadkari, Minister, Road Transport, Government of India, for organizing such a wonderful event, Advantage Vidarbha. In the able leadership of Nitinji, we are confident that Vidarbha is going to prosperous like anything. On behalf of CREDAI Nagpur, I would like to thank Shri Anuj Puri, founder, CEO, NRO Group. His marketing strategies will definitely help us. Again, I would like to thank Shri Arvind Kumarji, Center Head TCS. With the help of him, we can generate more employment in Nagpur. And Shri Rajat Kapoor, founder, CEO, Ascent Business Solution, and Atul Goel Ganga Group, who gave us an iconic commercial business center in the heart of the city. I would like to thank Shri President Gaurav Agrawala ji and Siddharth Saraf for their immense effort to make this event successful. At last but not least, our patrons, mentors, advisory, and all my CREDAI team and CREDAI mentors, thank you all.